welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 for some more multiplayer races. For this session, we are racing A-class cars that have to be fitted with V6s. Now, they could start off with V6s, like my Audi here, or they could be modified. You could drop a V6 engine into them. I don't know whether I'm using this car entirely because I only recently realised they had V6. For me, I still thought they were using the V8s in the RS4, but I guess the RS6 now has the V8s and the RS4 has the V. Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason. I mean, it's all-wheel drive. It should be quite good on the off-road stuff here, especially considering the stuff we're up against. There's only really there's one SUV down at the back at the moment. We should be pretty well suited to the off-road stuff. I'm on off-road race tyres. This wasn't really specifically built for off-road as such. I'm just hoping it'll be half decent overall. I think it might be a little bit too heavy. It's just over 3,000 pounds, but we shall see. It is likely to be pretty quick off the line, not as rapid as the Supervan, however, although the Supervan will run out of straight line speed at some point. It kind of hits its aero limit, so we should come flying past eventually. It's going to depend on how much grip the car has got. Oh, and I'm a little too late on the brakes there. That's not so good by me. Oh, it's going to get a little bit busy down here. It's going to get very busy down here. We are going to get kind of stuck in the middle of all of this, and I don't necessarily want to be in the middle of all of this. We are to the inside of a Sentra. Can we outturn the Sentra? We can, although I suspect the Sentra is going to outrun us in a straight line. Those things are monstrously quick. I think it would have the... would it have the Skyline V6? Is that the one that normally gets dumped into those? Can't remember. We are caught on the outside of everybody, which is not really where I want to be. I'm hoping we're going to be half decent down the straight here against, well, the mighty winged NSX, while looking cool, is probably not going to have the best top end. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Chikliska. Possibly a missed checkpoint, I would presume. Oh, come on, Audi, get turned through there. Okay, so, I mean, we have kind of handling on the Sentra, but the Sentra does have the top speed on us. We can get stopped there, and a lot of cars did not, so that's helpful. I shall take that, at least. Oh, come on now. Audi, don't get carried away. It's actually kind of... oh, God, I say a little bit oversteery in some places, this car. It's definitely lively. That Scirocco is fast, but looks like an absolute handful. Probably the most polite thing I can say about it. It does not look nice to drive at all. So that is... oh, I mean, can try having a go at the inside there, but it's a difficult line to take through there. You're on such a tight line, you're often not very quick. We round the final corner. Come on, RS4. Stretch away from the pack. Let them fight over whatever positions there might be there. I think any chance we have of catching the Transit is probably gone. We can take out that sign. It's all good. Panic and maybe slow down. There was some slowing down done. Not much, but there was a bit. Okay, I'm pushing my luck on the old braking part of this. You know, this doesn't feel as heavy. It's got more grip, has better turning than I was kind of expecting from it. I know it's the smaller of the Audis, of course, and it isn't the heaviest thing. I did kind of focus on weight reduction a bit to try and get it down. The NSX is going to have a look around the outside, which is brave. Although, again, against an NSX, I mean, I'm always going to struggle, I think, in that one. I'm hoping we can outrun it down the straight. Come on, Audi, use all that power. There we go. It will do the job, but we are going to have to defend, I suspect, for the rest. Unfortunately, any chance we have of now going after the Transit is going to be lost, because we are going to be fighting an NSX for this position. Oh, I say that. I think the NSX is about to come past. It's gone for a cutback. It is alongside, although it's going to struggle to make this one work. It can still... oh, it stays alongside, but we will now be to the inside through here. It's going to be a drag race off the corner, one which I think we will win eventually. Oh, street furniture, don't screw me over now. It's just making wide Audi time. We have lost just about any other competition. Now it's a park it on the apex through here, through the first part, because they can fire it down there on the exit, but it won't matter because we will outrun to the finish line. The NSX is alongside. We have to lift a little bit, but the NSX will have to be careful as well because they're on such a tight line, and we are all going to lose out to a 370's head if we're not careful, but I am not going to give up the podium spot easily. We are stubborn with the RS4. We have the acceleration to make life difficult for that Honda, and so we shall continue to make life difficult. Yeah, I mean, maybe I think on a clean run we could maybe have an interesting battle with the super van. However, things I think might be a smidge too fast for us, but things have definitely not gone that way to really find out in all of this. We have built a gap to the NSX this lap, which is helpful, and I think it'll be too far back. I don't know whether it got in a fight with the 370. It is possible that it did. We were around the final quarter. It's actually not a very good run through there, which I'm grateful that NSX was a bit too far back, because it's not going to be able to do anything now. It can sit in the slipstream all it likes. It will not catch. The RS4 will get on the podium. I'm pleased with that. Anytime an estate car can do well, I am pleased. I am pleased with that outcome. Yeah, didn't quite have the pace of the 370. As expected, me and the superfan very close. Although I tell you what, it's not that different. The top 4 at lap times, in fact, it's top 6, 7. Yeah, actually, Blisco was even faster with the missed checkpoint. There is some close lap times. Like, we're talking half a second, really, separating a little bit over half a second, separating a whole bunch of us. That's some interesting lap times. There's off-road race tyres on the Nissan, off-road race tyres on all the top 3, and I think the NSX was as well. So, okay, interesting indeed. I'm pleased enough with my RS4 anyway. We head to the Mangrove Scramble for our next race, and it looks like, well, it's got me and the SUV on the front row. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know who might have done all-wheel drive swaps. I don't know whether Longbow's 370 might be all-wheel drive swapped. Yeah, I am not sure on this. If stuff isn't all-wheel drive swapped, I think we stand a good chance here. We seem quick at the arch circuit, and we will have traction here where a lot of other cars will struggle. But of course, who knows what else might have some all-wheel drive going on, although some of these cars won't have a lot of PI to play with. The Jag will have some big tyres, but probably won't have the... Actually got aero on it as well. Unlikely to have the straight line speed that we have with the Audi. I mean, we're not the fastest thing in the world down the straights, but we're certainly not not too shabby. Let's get that stopped and turned through there. Now the Scirocco... So the Scirocco, I would imagine, is all-wheel drive. The speed that's getting off the line, it would have to be. The thing is, it looks like it's a horrible to-drive. So, probably just have to bide our time, wait for the opportune moment, and we will find a way past. Oh, onto the brakes we go into here. The Scirocco can carry some serious speed through there, although can it maintain it on the exit? Fairly well. The Jag is back in third. Oh, okay, not quite get my turning point right through there. Back end does kind of step out in places that makes it a little uncomfortable for me in this. Yeah, it is just a smidge uncomfortable. The Scirocco is sliding around. Oh, Jag's going to have a look. And, well, had a very good look at the inside. Then that's the grip you get with the F-Pace. It does have... Is the size type... What on this? 295? 275? 205? Can't remember exactly now. It's got big tyres on this, but they are not as big as the wide body kit Jag tyres. Okay, we cannot quite be flat through there. I thought it was a bit brave giving it a go, but it was a case of I have to kind of see what we can do, and we've got to have two. We're going to have to make up as much time as we can on these straights, because as soon as we get in the twisty bits, that Jag is going to come flying towards us. Now, we can be flat through here, although I actually slid the back end a little bit more than I wanted to. They'll get slowed down through there. That gear's not quite the right one to go for. It's got interesting gear ratios, shall we say. I have got a slightly modded gearbox, but because it's an 8-speed, there's quite a lot of short gears to start with that I've got to try and figure out, so to speak. I mean, I've definitely got pace on the Scirocco in some places, but it's not quite enough. The Scirocco's just got the acceleration off the corners that I don't quite have, and there's something out there. A stick that got under the front of my car that killed the momentum because it was slowed down before we even hit the bloody sign. That's kind of annoying. Right, well, we need a miracle at the moment. Definitely don't need to miss a checkpoint. Okay, well, we can get away with only a small lift off the throttle through there. That's one of the places we can make some time on that Volkswagen. It's not a big gain, but we can definitely do something there. Longbow is up into 4th with the Nissan. There's a good run from Longbow. Oh, back end, letting go. I'm going left into a right-hander. That's always bad. We're not trying to do drifting. That's not what we need at all. Right, if we can... I just can't carry enough speed through here. I just cannot match the Scirocco for pace in these corners. I'm trying everything. Given everything we've got in this, I'm going to miss a checkpoint, I think, at the rate we're going, trying to catch up with that car. Because it is trying to use every available centimetre of road. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's just too fast. And now this is the certainly the old Forza battle of lightweight small tyres against heavyweight big tyres going on, and currently the lightweight is winning, and it's got acceleration on me, and it's got grip on me, and I've probably overdriving the car. Longbow's up to 3rd with that Nissan, so I've got to be careful I don't do something stupid. I think it's going to be just to consolidate 2nd at this point. I tried everything. I was expecting the Scirocco to be a little too difficult to drive, but they did a great job. I'll say that. It looked a real handful in the first race, but out here, after being a little bit sketchy on the first lap, it looks pretty damn quick. And I'm just throwing an Audi about, looking for any pace we can get, but there is not going to be any more for me here. I think we're again going to be close in terms of lap time. Longbow may be a smidge faster. Scirocco's made a little mistake. It's the final lap, though. We've closed it on this lap. The Scirocco had a little bit of a scruffy one, but it's got a big enough lead that it won't matter. Yeah. That lap was an 11.6 as well. It was very similar to my fastest lap. Hey, it's a 2nd place. I did what I could, but I could not match that Volkswagen. Lap times were close, though. Again, as sort of expected. We were just a little bit down on the Scirocco and 370Z, but we were, again, within that half a second. The F-pace just couldn't quite match us for, I would presume, straight line speed. We saw how fast it was in the corners, but the top end that we had was just too much. The NSX is 5th and 6th, ahead of the Sentra and the Supervan. So, yeah, those not working quite as well with the off-road track. That is the way it goes sometimes. Well, it's another podium. It's another podium, but yeah, the Scirocco is a little bit too fast for me. We head to the Plaza circuit for our next race. An interesting prospect as ever, this track. I mean, the all-wheel drive is going to help me launch the car off the corners, but I suspect we are ultimately going to be outturned by things like the 370Z, the NSXs, and potentially even the Cadillac. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Street furniture can always be a pain. I mean, we've got a bit more of a heavy-duty car here. It is always a fear, though, around this track. The Scirocco's got fantastic acceleration. That could be a problem. But we'll have to wait and see, really. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think we might stand an all-right chance. I don't think we're going to be a front-running car, but you know, a podium is always possible if we can get a good start and keep things under control. A big slide there is not really what we needed. We could frustrate an NSX again. Apparently that is my new goal, is just to frustrate an NSX. We are currently inside said NSX. That is an unfortunate... Oh, I'm struggling to pull that up in time. The NSX is out wide, the Sentra's out wide. We're still side by side with the Honda. Supervan is leading the way. at the moment. We will clear the NSX. Now, the Sentra is not going to like this track. The Sentra is all power and not really the handling, so it's likely to struggle, and indeed, it slides big time through there. That'll put me past, and it puts the Honda up to third, does it? Not quite finished that move yet. It's either the Transit we might really struggle. The Honda does complete the pass on the Sentra. The Transit we might struggle to catch. I think our big advantage over it was probably top end, and, well, we are not going to really be testing that here. The one thing that we might have is the traction being all-wheel drive, and the Transit is not. We're going to have to be defending like crazy against that Honda. It's clearly got more speed than us. So I think the only way we really beat it is to drive a very defensive race. But of course that defensive race will potentially stop us from catching the Transit. So I don't really feel the need to defend at turn 1 because we've got the straight line speed. Oh, probably do need to defend down here, although we ended up being fired across to that part of the track anyway because of the bumps. So yeah, this is where the traction of the Audi will help me. I mean, a lot of the cars here, they've probably got 500-600 horsepower, varying degree, sort of size of rear tyre. Means they're not too bad for putting the power down, but I've got just a shy of 500 horsepower all-wheel drive. Quite big tyres means I am full throttle on all these exits, no problem at all. So we can gain maybe a little bit if the Transit slides around. Oh, I tell you what, that rode the bumps there really well. I'm impressed with the RS4. We hit that and it didn't really do very much to my car. Can we? This is the bit where we're vulnerable. Oh, the Transit's made a little mistake here. That is not what the Transit would have needed because it's about to become a 3-car battle for the lead. The NSX is out a bit wide. The Transit's defending into the final corner. Transit's got street furnitured on the exit. We are to the inside. The NSX was going to have a look on us. We are going to make sure we get the car stopped down for turn 1. It's a bigger braking zone than you realise through there. It's now Transit side by side with the NSX. Don't slide the Audi about. Quite a lot of understeer. Oh, we got in trouble there. I want to really pull the car up. God, tell you what, the understeer through there is just a little bit much for me. The Transit's fighting back. I think us... Oh, God. Us getting all crossed up there. Actually, oh, there's been an accident behind. Don't quite know what happened. We were a little bit struggling through there, and they seem to have bumped... I don't know whether there was a bump between them, and then they waited for each other, or quite what occurred in that one. There was something happened in the braking zone. We were maybe a smidge earlier on the brakes, but yeah, don't quite know what went on. Which is a shame because it was has been shaping up as a very, very close race between us three. All our cars had different kind of strengths, if you like. The RS4 has got to the front, and as long as I don't do something dumb, we should be okay to see this one out. Just don't miss a checkpoint, don't hit street furniture, don't hit the wall. You know, it's easier said than done. This is a very challenging circuit at the end of the day. But no, I'm definitely happy with this car. It gets a little sketchy in a couple of places. Like down here, for example. This section in most of the A-Class cars I drive is normally easy, flat out. In this, it isn't. And on this final lap, I can choose to be, oh god, a little careful. And as I say that, I bounce over some curbs, and that really upset the car. Okay, don't hit the curbs. It really doesn't like that. It's just strange, because it runs some bits fine. But yeah, that section causing all sorts of grief. Gliska's got up into third with the Cadillac. So the Cadillac's not on off-road race tyres, it's on sport tyres, I think. So it's quite different to the rest of us in terms of its build. It's definitely got pace. That is a massive squabble going on for second. I've just seen the map. Didn't have time to actually flick the camera back, but it's all sorts of messes going on back there. Well, that has also very much helped me. It is a crazy battle over that second place, for which we will run away make a little bit of a mess. It's not been a very good final lap. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't matter. It looks like the transit might have popped out the other side of all of that for the moment, but who knows what way it is going to go. We can literally just cruise around the final corner. Don't really run any risks at all there. The final corner back there looks like it's a lot busier. If I'm honest, I don't know what way it's going to go. I don't know what podium we're going to see. We take victory. It looks like the Transit Supervan may well get second with Gliska in third, and it is the way it finished with the NSX in fourth ahead of the 370. We were definitely quick around that circuit. The Caddy was a little faster, but we're only talking a couple of tenths. That RS, considering the final lap, I kind of just didn't push at all. That RS4, that was quick around that circuit. It definitely worked there. It's the best track it's had so far for lap time. Yeah, tell you what, there's a lot of very, very evenly matched cars in this session, but we will take a victory. Transit second, the Caddy gets on the podium. Yeah, it was a very good race. A manic battle went on for second on that final lap as well. For our final race, we head... not our final race, sorry. We head off-road for our next race. It is the Baja Scramble Circuit. We're a fair way back in the field. I mean, we're likely to be strong here again. I think the owner, the Scirocco is here. I've had a disconnect. Yeah, the Scirocco is going to be fast. It might have problem with the jumps. It might be uncomfortable on those landings. We'll have to wait and see. The Jag, I think, will again lack the straight line speed. Lombo's car will be curious to see, actually. It's got a better spot on the grid. It's closer to the fighting. And that thing seemed pretty solid off-road. So, yeah, it's probably going to be the Scirocco, me, Longbow, and potentially the Jag if it can make up enough time in the corners. But it really is dependent on how much corner speed that thing can take, because we know it's not very good in a straight line. We are around these next couple of corners fairly nicely. We can keep the throttle pinned. The Scirocco is just dancing away up at the front. We've got clear of Longbow for the moment, so that is something. Can we run... We don't even need to run the higher line. We can just run kind of around the middle of the circuit. Through there. If we're going to catch the F-pace, it's going to be here, and it's going to be the run to the final corner, where we're probably going to be making big gains on that car. But it will pull away through here. It slides about a little bit, but it will just carry more speed through here. The Scirocco can then just put the power down and is gone. Longbow, maybe Longbows is... I don't know. Longbows is not going amazingly fast here, which makes me think maybe it is still rear-wheel drive. It was just good at the Mangrove. It was good enough on the tarmac bits of the Mangrove circuit that it could make it work. The Jag is a little bit wide. Oh, crap. We're going to go for an aerial overtake. Oh, well, that's spectacular and not completely what I was intending. We will give the Jag some space on the outside. We do not want an argument with that car. We're going to try and cut underneath it on the exit. We will be out wide through here. No, we're trying to cut back in about 3 different corners, still trying to make it work. But once again, we are fired to the outside up here. I'll run it in with some pace. The Jag's got so much grip. It's got so much sort of mid-corner turn-in. It's astonishingly grippy, but then we get to a straight. And this was the bit that I did say the RS4 was likely to be strong at, and sure enough, the RS4 has come past, although we've got a little bit wide on the exit. It's not a big concern to me there. We should get the power down and be gone. At the Mangrove circuit, there was half a chance. We could kind of match the Scirocco a little bit for pace. Here, that thing is just gone. That car is horrific on the bumps. I was wondering whether the very small, lightweight Volkswagen would have issues, but no, it's the Audi. The Audi has a lot of issues on these bumps. It gets chucked around all over the place. Definitely a little bit concerned about the car. The Jags are right behind. This is a section the Jags are really good at, and I am not so great at. It does not. We do not have the grip of the big SUV. We will, hug the inside. It's not quite all the way to the inside. We'll hug the inside by the puddle. No one wants to really go through. Even the SUV will lose time trying to go through the puddle. we can run that higher line through there, and we are clear. I don't think the Jag's got an answer quite. Oh, the Jag has had a very big accident off the bridge. The Jag's definitely not got an answer for us now. Oh, I'm going to hazard a guess it ran a little bit wide and clipped the kind of... I mean, oh no, I thought it landed in third and was carrying on still in third. No, it's fallen to fourth, but it clipped the edge of the bridge, I think, and that's what launched it over. We haven't seen a roll there for a while. I don't know if I've actually had one on camera before either. I mean, it was vaguely on camera. I happened to look back at the right time. But, yeah, that's quite an impressive... Well, as I've always said, if you're going to have a crash, make it spectacular and on camera. So, you know, at least it fell over and it was mostly on camera. So, good job on listening to that one. Though it does unfortunately cost them a podium. Yeah, we just kind of trundled around. It's another strong result from an RS4. This one, it's just not quite good enough. It's just not quite fast enough to chase down that Scirocco. And this is probably one of the bigger gaps it's had to the fastest car in terms of lap time, considering everything's been really close up until this point. Yeah, that Scirocco is a monster. We're certainly very good off-road. We're certainly better than the rest of the field. We're a clear second place, but we are definitely not matching that Volkswagen. Longbow has kind of consolidated that gap. Longbow's probably about as far back from me as we are from the Scirocco at this point. We will round the final corner, bounce about, and launch the car sideways across the line. It's very uncomfortable across those bumps, but there we go. It'll be a second place. Unlucky for the Jag that loses a podium with a roll at lap times. You know, we were closer than I thought. We were actually a lot closer than I thought once we kind of got it all together. But the Scirocco made a gap early on, and then we certainly couldn't reel it in. Again, really close between the top four cars around this one. The NSXs, of course, are going to struggle more. They're not really built. They are off-road race tyres, but they're not all-wheel drive. Not really built like these cars that are going well. Yeah, could have been an amazing race, I think, between a lot of us if we'd been closer together on track, but we got a little bit spread out and then just sort of stayed there. We head into our final race at the Estadio circuit. I don't know if I mean, the RS4 has been quick. It's been generally right up there. I like this track very much. Some of the tighter sections, the traction could be useful with the all-wheel drive car. This is a great kind of balanced track between top speed handling. You've got some longer straights, you've got some fast corners, you've got some slow corners, you've got some traction zones. I'm expecting it to go quite well here. So we will try. We will see what we can do with the car. It's an alright spot on the grid, and of course we are going to launch pretty well, although there's a fair few fast starting cars. If we can make the most of Ghost Mode early on, that is always going to kind of be helpful, really. Cheese as many passes as we possibly can through the first corners and see where we pop out at the end of all of this. I mean, we're kind of a bit even on handling through here, although it is a good run up the hill. I will take that. Can't quite get past a Longbow, unfortunately. We'll push the Nissan down the hill. Sure, let's go for that one. Now we're coming up. This is a very fast section. We have got some speed. We know the Transit's going to really struggle for top end. We've got some speed on the 370. That's helpful to know. We will slow down. I don't know how much speed we can take through the chicane. Transit's a little bit wide on the way in. Transit's going to be slow on the exit. It's not too much chaos behind. We are well clear of all of that. It's all going to get a little bit stacked up and a little bit busy through these final couple of corners. Is the Nissan going to send it to the inside? Not quite. The Lotus has had a look around the outside, but is wide at the final corner, and we will be clear. The Sentra, we know that Sentra is a monster at a straight line, so I might have to be a little bit careful by the time we get to turn one, although it's not quite closing in quick enough. At the moment, with that just little tussle has dropped us back from the battle for the lead, which we really didn't need. Nissan's looking around the outside, can't do it. It's been neat and tidy time for me. It actually was surprisingly quite nice through turn one. We've got so much traction. Look at the time we can gain on that Nissan through there. We've got an amazing amount of drive off of that corner. We're clear of the Sentra, although we're catching the three. We can't pass down here. Got top end to kind of catch it. We're very quick through there, actually. But I don't want to have a look there. That's going to end in disaster. And I'm on a slightly wonky line, and that was slow into the chicane. That was, yeah. We were very, very quick through that fast left-hander, but it did compromise us a little bit. The transit's gone very defensive, and maybe a little too defensive. It's slow. This one's around the outside. It's still looking. There's not quite space there. We're going to go for a cutback, are we? Nope. There's space somewhere around here to fire the Audi. We're going to go 3 wide. There's almost a gap. We know the transit's going to run out of straight line speed. Can we look to the inside and get a more straightforward pass? We tried and tried and tried. There's a gap there somewhere. Still trying to open the door a little bit. We're going to have a look to the inside at turn 1. Can't do it. Just not far enough alongside. The transit's missed its braking point, and that will put us through up into 2nd place. Thank God for that. Unfortunately, I mean, just that overtake alone, the transit's having a look again, but we know we'll outrun it down this straight. We know we've got enough speed, and sure enough, yeah, we're clever. I don't know if the transit might have missed a checkpoint. It's gone. It's fallen back. The Cadillac's up to 3rd. That is a concerning one. I am scared of the Cadillac. We've got to try and chase down the 370. Whether that fight with the transit might have just cost us too much time. That Cadillac is quite close. That's done well from a fair way back. Can we catch the Nissan? We know we've definitely got the traction. We can gain through here. It's off this final corner. We've got some good grip through the corners. It's a little kiss on the wall. It's fine. It's not too bad. The Cadillac is still there, and we know that Cadillac's going to be pretty damn fast on these tarmac circuits. Nissan's pulled away. I guess maybe that brush on the wall might just cost us a little bit of momentum. The thing we've got to do is keep things under control, not run too wide through the first corner. We're quick here. This was a point where we were gaining on the Nissan, and we see the 370 runs a little bit wide. The Cadillac's kind of closed, but hasn't done too much through that first section, which is kind of important to me. It means we can focus. We don't have to worry about defending at the moment. We're focusing all the energy on chasing down that 370. We're fast through here. I think we're faster than the Nissan through this section. It does put us a little wide for the chicane, although it's much neater this time around. That's what we like to see from the RS4. We run just a tiny bit wide on the exit. Not as wide as the Cadillac. Cadillac's doing some rally cross. Yeah, it was neat. It was tidy from the RS4, and the Nissan hit the wall through there. The 370 is definitely pushing at this moment in time. As we leave the final corner, are we closer than last lap? Maybe. The Cadillac's still there, but it's not really gained a huge amount on us in this section. 1 more lap to go. I think we're going to be a bit too far back from that 370. However, we know we're strong in a couple of places. Get the brakes early for turn 1, and it is much neater. The Nissan is neat and tidy. We're hoping for that's close to the checkpoint. So we got away with it. This is where we are very strong on this kind of uphill section. We've gained a tiny little bit on that Nissan. It's just not enough. The Cadillac cannot quite keep up. We have dropped it a little bit this lap. We've had a good start to the final lap. We've got to be as brave as we can through here, but don't run as wide if possible, and get it neat and tidy into the chicane, which we do. Still hunting for that Nissan. The Cadillac's too far back. It's not going to be able to do anything on the final lap, barring a big mistake by me. We're chucking it into this final corner. It is absolutely spot on for the RS4, and the Nissan's a little bit wide. It's going to be on a really tight line through here. We've got a great run. Can we do anything? It's a drag race to the line. We've really, really closed up onto the back end of the 370, but I don't think we've quite got the straight line speed to do it. No, we'll follow Longbow across the line. That was an amazing final lap from the RS4. It was absolutely spot on, but just ran out of time. Needed another lap, god damn it. We will take 2nd. I mean, lap times were pretty close between the Nissan and the Caddy as well. Yeah, I think we had a very good final lap. The 370 was a little bit ragged, made a couple of little mistakes, but we were too far back to make the most of it. I mean, I'm pleased with that RS4. I'm actually really pleased with that car. Very, very good overall. I slightly disappointed, couldn't quite get the victory at the end there, but yeah, it was a very good race. Had some very good races indeed with that car. It was competitive just about everywhere. It might be the best overall car. It was very competitive off road, very competitive on the tarmac. So yeah, it's definitely a good vehicle. Well, that is going to be it for this video. If you would like to sign up to take part in the next one of these, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versus the Community sign up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.